Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time in 10 years, this country will have a leader of opposition in the Lok Sabha, and for the very first time in 20 years, it will be a member of the Gandhi family. In his first act as the leader of opposition of the 18th Lok Sabha, Rahul Gandhi accompanied the Prime Minister in escorting Om Birla to the Speaker's chair after the latter's re-election. And in his congratulatory address to the Speaker, Rahul made no bones of the fact that he intends to lead a stronger and more assertive opposition. Listen in.
The opposition would like to assist you in doing your work. We would like the House to function often and well. Speaker sir, it is very important that cooperation happens on the basis of trust. It is very important that the voice of the opposition is allowed to be represented in this House. I'm confident that you will allow us to represent our voice, allow us to speak, allow us to represent the voice of the people of India.
Since he's the first in the chair in 10 years, it's important to review what exactly the role of an LOP entails. A 2012 booklet on the Indian Parliament says that the leader of the opposition in the Lok Sabha is considered a shadow prime minister with a shadow cabinet who is ready to take over the administration if the incumbent government collapses. Moreover, the leader of the opposition lets the prime minister govern and is in turn permitted to oppose. Its proactive role in facilitating smooth functioning of the business of the House is as important as that of the government's. So, what are Rahul Gandhi's new roles and what are his new responsibilities? To begin with, the LOP is a cabinet rank post with its own perks. The occupant of the post is entitled to receive a salary per month and allowances for every day, along with a constituency allowance and other allowances. But crucially, the LOP serves as the face of and the voice of the opposition in the Lok Sabha. The LOP sits on several key committees and is also part of various joint parliamentary panels. Perhaps one of the most important jobs of the that the LOP actually enjoys is being part of the selection committees that appoint heads of bodies like the ED, like the CBI, like the CVC, like the NHRC, like the Lokpal, as well as election commissioners. Now, Rahul Gandhi, a five-time MP, often called the Shehzada by the BJP, will be on test for the next 5 years. You could say that this is his do or die moment, as this is the first time he has taken responsibility of a constitutional post. If he ever has to be taken seriously as a potential prime ministerial candidate, he simply has to deliver. Question is, can he? I'm going to put that question to my guest this evening. Karan Verma is an author joining us on the broadcast. Sujata Paul is spokesperson of the Congress Party. Professor Madhav Nalpat is a geopolitical expert joining us on the broadcast. And Madhavan Narayan is a senior journalist. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time. Do keep your comments short. Who should I start with? Maybe someone who will have an extreme view on the subject. Karan Verma, is Rahul Gandhi up to the job as far as the BJP is concerned and as far as supporters of Prime Minister Modi are concerned?
So, Shreya, proof of the pudding lies in the eating, and let's look at his record as an MP. I mean, that is abysmal. 51% attendance, where the national average is 79%. Number of debates participated, 8, where the national average is 47. Number of questions asked, 99, where the national average is 210. Private bills, 0. So, if anything to go by, his track record as an MP has been rather abysmal, to say the least. Let's see, maybe he can turn over a new leaf and surprise us all. But so far, the first day, if I talk about the first day, he's landed up with a foot in his mouth. This entire thing of going for the election of the speaker and not calling for a division also later on, and when there was a resolution passed condemning the emergency, it was only the Congress that was condemning it, not any other member of the India Alliance. Not Samajwadi Party, not DMK. So he's failed to build consensus on the day one. So if anything to go by, let's keep our fingers crossed. But so far, it hasn't been the most pleasant of starts, to say the least.
Sujata Paul, would you want to come in here? Look at the image that Rahul Gandhi has so far, well, not exactly enjoyed. Enjoyed will be the wrong word here to use. But Sujata Paul, the fact is he's seen as a reluctant politician. He's seen someone as someone who paratroops to an issue, will create, much noise over the issue, do what needs to be done, and suddenly disappear. That is what his past track record shows us. The problem is when you take up a constitutional post, what you require is consistency. And consistency, Sujata Paul, you and I both know, as people with day and night jobs, is very boring. Therefore, I ask you, is he up to the job?
Really? He is the man who has walked this country in the times of an authoritarian regime from the south to the north, east to the west. He's the only leader who has taken up every issue. He's the only leader who warned in advance this government of the incoming pandemic, of the economy going down, and he is the only politician that the Prime Minister could not stand, and that is the reason why he was put in jail, why he was suspended and then thrown out of parliament, and even his house was taken. But look at the irony. And today, when the Prime Minister who had said, "Kaun Rahul," he's feeling the heat now, because you saw those pictures, and look at those pictures. They are quite telling, because Rahul Gandhi has been the voice of this country, voice of the youth of this country, and the youth have discarded, abandoned the Prime Minister and his party because of their policies, because of the schemes that they have brought up. But it is Rahul Gandhi who took up those issues of people. He is the only person who has spoken against the Agnipath Yojana the way he did. He spoke about the laborers during the pandemic when they were on the streets, and the Prime Minister's attorney general was telling the court.
I will not contradict you there. My question was simple. The problem with Rahul Gandhi has been consistency.
The problem with Rahul Gandhi...
Not the fact that he has not raised the right issues.
The problem with Rahul Gandhi is all a creation of the BJP, the propaganda against him. Look at the amount of money, time, energy that they have spent in maligning and derogating him. But today, when he has been chosen as the leader of opposition, tell me which opposition party has not supported him? Because we know what Rahul Gandhi is, and the country knows what Rahul Gandhi is. He is the one who smashed the arrogance of the Prime Minister, who said, "Ek akela sab pe bhari." जो अकेला चलता है सबको ले नहीं सकता साथ साथ. And Rahul Gandhi is the one who brought that kafila from the south to the north.
Professor Madhav Nalapat. Professor Madhav Nalapat, as I said, consistency is a problem. He's seen as a parachuting politician who will parachute to the burning issue of the day, do what is required to be done, do it well, and then leave. And then we don't see him, for months on end. Are those days gone? Has the Bharat Jodo Yatra, the two Bharat Jodo Yatras, changed all of that and changed the image that the BJP was trying to put on to Rahul Gandhi of being a Pappu, etc.? Those Pappu days are clearly gone.
Minister during Manmohan Singh's tenure in the UPA, but he did not. He did not serve in that. This is the first constitutional post he has had, and it's a very important constitutional post. I would like to say, Shreya, that the way he basically accompanied the Prime Minister, graciously, greeted the Speaker, and the way they basically got the opposition to accept that a division was frankly useless, I think all that was a plus. The negative was the fact that they raised such a ruckus over the emergency. Rahul has got to show the country that he is beyond the family where it comes to the national interest. And may I point out, the emergency was something that affected the entire country. And I think it's important to draw a clear line between
I believe the frame has frozen for the moment. We'll go back to Professor Madhav Nalapat. But Madhavan Narayan, there are challenges as well. The opposition is more united than we have seen them in many, many years now. So that is a plus. But this is an opposition that has too many prime ministerial aspirants as well. So as leader of opposition, you have pitted Rahul Gandhi as the opposition voice and face against Prime Minister Narendra Modi. But what will keep him straight and honest is also his own allies, who will be breathing down his neck on many issues.
Yeah, I think, Shreya, let me first begin with a one-liner. The Cadbury's advertisement you had Amitabh Bachchan saying Pappu pass ho gaya. So it seems to me that Rahul, who was called Pappu, has now become a pass ho gaya type. But let us ask ourselves some serious questions. First of all, Rahul was considered very gauche, by saying things that were, yourself, you used the word parachuting. But the point is that he's converted his weaknesses into strengths by two or three stylistic aspects, which might help him in the current parliament. Because I'm reminded of John Chambers of Cisco. I've covered technology as a correspondent. And John Chambers is just a BA, and he was leading a team of PhDs and MBAs precisely because too many egos result in situations where a softer, more approachable, affectionate style helps. The style may go in his favor as a leader of the opposition as a group. Now, Karan's point about his parliamentary record in a very conventional sense of the MP is now, passe, because we've had a prime minister who has not held a press conference in 10 years. So if you can measure the prime minister by the number of press conferences held, there's no point in measuring opposition leader by the number of questions asked or the hours spent. As I see it, there are one big advantage and one big disadvantage. Let me put things on the balance. The advantage of Rahul Gandhi is that he's become a very good evangelist. The number of seats won on the Bharat Jodo Yatra by Congress is one good statistic to use that. He's become quite articulate and in your face on ideological matters. But on administrative matters, the jury is still out. On parliamentary committees, is what you mentioned as consistency. I would not use the word consistency. I would say focus. I would prefer to use the word focus. If focus is an issue, then Rahul Gandhi has to prove himself on issues. But please remember, now this is something I've said many times, BJP and Congress have the opposite problems. BJP has a very strong couple of leaders, and the talent famine, I may say this again, begins at number 6. Congress is the opposite. It's got a lot of middle order batsmen who are very solid. And if they help him from behind, you have very solid brains in the Congress who are consciously keeping themselves in low profile. If they want, each of them is actually prime minister material. But the way Congress functions is very different from the way BJP functions. That's the interesting point.
Here's
We need
the
to
thing.
look up.
We have a leader of opposition. True, but here's the point. India is getting a leader of opposition in almost a decade because no party in the last 10 years has actually had the numbers to have a leader of opposition. You require at least 10% MPs, roughly amounts to 55. No party in the last 10 years has got those many seats. The Congress this time has 99, which means Rahul Gandhi is leader of opposition. This is his chance. Will he deliver? Well, he has 5 years to do so. We'll see. Thank you very much, Madhavan Narayan, for joining us. Professor Nalpat, I'm afraid we lost you midway. Thank you very much for joining us. Sujata Paul, thanks very much. And Karan Verma, good to have you on the show. This was a short chat. Good night, everyone. My colleague Shreya Dhoundial is joining you at the top of 9 with all the day's headlines. Do stay with us.